Hey y'all, welcome to another episode review of Love After Lockup, Season 5, Episode 39, Rules of Engagement. Y'all, why I thought we was done with this scene with Troy and Zaria last week, and they didn't put us right back where we left off. Troy is in the room with Zaria. She's kicking him out, slamming the door on his dang arm. Karen's on the couch trying to figure out what's going on. And then Troy goes back in the room with Zaria. She's vigorously scrubbing all that makeup off her face. Her little face is red. She's screaming, talking about we're done. She done threw her ring on the floor. Zaria says, I've been waiting for you to get out all this time. As soon as you get here, it's been days and you're already leaving and leaving your phone, so clearly you don't want to talk to me. He says he understands that Zaria can be temperamental. That's not the word he said. He said it the wrong way, but temperamental at times, and he didn't realize that she would be the same way in person. Oh, so y'all was having these kind of conversations on the jail phone too, and you thought that once you got home, she wasn't going to act crazy. Got it. Zaria is still screaming, talking about you've been missing for hours. Your mom's been on the phone with Yana. People calling up here looking for you. And they're on the phone talking about infidelity. And Karen sitting on the couch in the living room talking about, well, at least she admitted she cheated. And apparently the story is Karen already knew this. And I don't know if the edible made her forget that she already knew it. And she thinks it's new information. But Zaria says that it's not. They keep on putting this picture up of Zaria every time they talk about her infidelity. So this must be what she had on Facebook dating and BLK and Tinder and all that stuff. Y'all, am I toxic? Because Zaria got up to leave the room. Troy stood in front of her. She's like, get out the way. He's like, I'm not moving. Please put your ring back on. And I just thought it was the sweetest thing. He did eventually let her out the room because she said she wanted to get some water, but he did follow her and ask her to please put her ring back on. And he apologized for leaving. Now, I feel like he's a very calm and patient man. And she should have apologized for acting crazy because she was acting crazy all day. And that's why he left in the first place. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like they might make it. Shantae is up at the hotel getting ready to get dressed so that she can go to the parole officer's office with True. I'm guessing that since he's already in trouble, he went and spent the night at whatever house he was paroled to, which I think was his mom's house, and that's why she's in a hotel by herself. But why did this lady have a wig in her bag? Did you feel that you needed a hair wardrobe change in addition to your 30-inch synthetic beauty supply bust down, or what's going on with that? He picks her up and they pull up to the parole office just in the nick of time. Hope's sister's coming to town, and now she has no choice but to tell them about Arthur. So they meet up at a restaurant to have lunch, and she breaks the news to them that she is in a relationship with somebody from her past, a person that she met while he was in prison, and that he's been out for 2.5 months, and he lives with her. The sisters do not seem optimistic about it, and they ask if he's gotten a job yet because he's been to prison twice for auto theft. And she says that he doesn't have one yet. He applied to the corner store across from her house. But to me, I don't know. Do y'all think she's giving him credit? Because on the last episode, he said that he had applied to 100 places. I don't know if he was exaggerating. But to me, 100 applications in a 2-month period, that's fair. Job applications are not like a 2-minute process for the most part. So I think if he's applied to 100 places in 2.5 months, then he is trying. And maybe she could do something else to help him find work, because there are places that hire people with backgrounds. Then she had the nerve to tell the sisters that Arthur had went back to prison a second time because many offenders do, due to the way that the justice system is so messed up. Ironically, because you sent him back again. If you guys follow their updates on social media or see people talking about it on TikTok, I know I have. Arthur went back to prison because Hope and Arthur had some type of altercation. She claimed that he shot her. And I think I just saw his mom posted like a day or two ago that he finally had gotten the charges dismissed because the judge said there wasn't sufficient evidence. Now, I'm never one to take I'm never one to take the man's side when I hear about a domestic situation where the man does seem to be at fault or whatever, because I have been a victim of domestic violence. But for some reason, my gut is telling me that this was not Arthur's fault. That's just what my gut says. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Now, I can understand being her sisters that they would feel a way about her being a provider when he hasn't started working and he's been out of jail for 2.5 months. But at the same time, I think Hope went about this whole situation the wrong way. I think that she should have told them in advance that he had gotten out and kept the details a little bit more limited. I didn't like how they were sitting at the table laughing at his situation. She shared with them that he had a mini mental breakdown after he got home, and I just don't think that that was their business. I think that was very private, even though they were eventually gonna see it on television. I just don't think that she needed to tell them all that, and I didn't like how they were laughing at him. I'm not finna be giving people my man's deep dark personal details so that they can laugh at him. I don't like how Hope handles a lot of stuff. Back at Hope's apartment, Arthur is a little bit nervous about the fact that he's going to be meeting her sisters and her grandparents all in the same day. Again, I don't think she handled this the correct way. He's feeling a little bit overwhelmed, but he does understand that since he just got out of jail, it's normal for him to be in a position where he has to prove that he is a good person and that her family will be concerned. Bianca is still meeting with Daniel's family, his mom, his dad, and his cousin. And they're just making it seem like they're supportive of the relationship. And then Bianca pulls the confrontational move and asks his cousin, "Why did you convince Daniel not to marry me?" He then explains that he was just trying to be the voice of reason for him. He didn't really want him to marry a complete stranger that he had not known outside of jail. And I think that's fair, and I don't think she should have taken it personal. Daniel's mom is so concerned about the drinking. She asked Bianca if this was going to be her last drink of the day. She says yes. Mom and dad head out, and then she and the cousin go sit at the pool to chit-chat a little bit more. I think that Daniel's mom is completely valid in her feelings of being concerned about him being around alcohol, especially if that's something that he struggled with that ultimately led him to being in prison. I don't think that she's wrong. I think she's a concerned mother. I can tell the cousin really cares about Daniel. He's asking Bianca really thoughtful questions like, have you thought about the challenges that you guys might face living together when he gets out? How do you feel about the fact that he relapsed while he was in prison? Bianca shares that he did have an episode where he ended up taking fentanyl. And she says, I don't think he woke up and decided to do it. I think it was just the environment and it just was like a random thing. Honey, no. She is so delusional and young and green, and she really just doesn't get it. And I hope that when this man comes home, that it's not going to be an extremely traumatic situation for her, because she seems very inexperienced and she really doesn't understand the severity of the addictions that this man is dealing with. Y'all, look at Julian at this job interview with cargo shorts on. I would be so paranoid to do that, because what if the interviewer asks you to get up and get something that you don't have at your computer with you, and then you got to get up and they see your bottoms? I just wouldn't be able to do it. Christine is upstairs working on a flyer and some jokes for her comedy routine, and I think it's cute. I think that everyone needs and deserves to have personal goals. Julian finishes his interview. He tells Christine it went well, and she proceeds to tell him about her plans to do an, I think she said, open mic comedy night. And I do not like how he immediately shot her ambitions down. He was like, do you think this is a good time to do this? We talked about you picking up extra shifts, blah, blah, blah. Julian, you go pick up some shifts. You're not even working right now. You could go get a little temporary job until you get another quote-unquote real job, if that's how you want to look at it. But just because you're in between jobs that are in your career field, it doesn't mean that you can't go out and do like a little hourly job until you get another salary job. Why are you putting all of the weight on Christine? You lured her from jail to your house under the guise of, I work, I have a career, I have money, I'm going to take care of you. And now you're expecting her to pick up 100% of the slack. Like, what are you doing? He then tells her that he worries about the comedy thing because it took him so long to get her sense of humor. He worries other people aren't going to get it and it's going to negatively affect her. Julian, why would you say that? Just let her try. I think you should allow her to try. Don't tell her that you don't believe in her. Just see how it goes. I think that his concerns about her potentially being sad and relapsing if it doesn't go well are valid. However, as a partner, I think it's always your job to encourage your partner. Then he tells her he's going to think about coming to the comedy show. And that is so sad because, like, dude, what are you doing? You don't even have no job. Why you can't go? Kim and Joey. So Kim comes in and tells Joey she received a friend request from his ex-girlfriend. That's right, the girl that was texting him and blowing his phone up while he was over at the rim shop spending Kim's money on some $2,200 rims and tires. That same girl sent her a friend request. And he's looking all, it was giving Kirk from Love and Hip Hop. Well, what would you get a friend request for? You know why she got a friend request. So then she asked, I don't know, what is she trying to tell me? Have you gotten a friend request? Well, yeah, I got one. He don't need a friend request. He has text messages. And then he tells her he got WhatsApp messages because she asked him to download WhatsApp. She then says, let me see that phone. He hands her the phone. She's scrolling to WhatsApp and she's seeing like a million messages, feeling like he's checking in with her more than he's checking in with Kim. She gets mad. She says, this is not appropriate. And then he's like, you know what? Give me back my phone. Y'all see that blur on the screen? That's how fast he snatched that phone out of her hand. And then he stormed out the door. He takes his phone that Kim bought him. He hops in a car that Kim bought him and backs out of the driveway on the tires and rims that Kim bought him. He tells her, forget the engagement party. You can go by yourself or you can call up my ex-girlfriend and see if she wants to go with you. And at that point, since you're trying to embarrass me in front of everybody that we've invited to this party, at that point, that's when you can get out of my house. Letitia has to tell her kids that Keith is not coming home as soon as they thought he was going to come, and it's going to be more towards the end of the year. I believe he only had 8 months left. Of course, her younger daughter is very upset. She's really been looking forward to having a dad, which is crazy to me. Not her fault. It's Letitia's fault. These women give their children, they give these men way too much access to their children. Like, way too much. She doesn't even really know this man. And the child is crying because he's not coming home yet. This is not your dad. Now, if he can come home and be a great stepdad, that's awesome. But I just don't understand the access and the bond building so soon before you even see what he's like outside of jail. Of course, the older daughter, she don't care. She not worried about him coming home anyways. She then tells the kids that they're going to be moving. Remember, they found out that the landlord had not been paying the mortgage and they're going to have to leave the house. She said next time she'll make sure nothing like that happens. I don't know how you would ensure that. Maybe getting a house from like a large property management company will be a lot less likely to happen than renting from an individual. I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah, they're going to be moving. Not only are they moving to a different house, but Letitia is thinking about moving to another city. She mentions Charlotte. Now, I don't know if y'all heard what I heard, but the people are saying that Letitia is a scammer. So this would be just all too convenient for her to be able to move and uproot and start things over where nobody knows that she's a scammer. Did y'all hear that? Let me know in the comments. They gave True another chance. They did not send him back to jail, but he does have to be on house arrest and wear an ankle monitor. So he has to go back the next day to get it put on. True says he's so relieved. He really thought he was going back to prison and he's grateful for another opportunity. He's going to be doing house arrest at his friend Peppa's house. Now this clip right here, this is Shantae's facial expression when he said he was going to be staying at Peppa's house, and Peppa sound like a girl. And it's probably that girl that he abandoned Shantae on the highway so that he could go and zoom off into the distance and meet up with her. The producers asked Shantae how she feels. She says, well, he not going to jail. And she tells the confessional that she's a little upset because he could have paroled at her house instead of being on house arrest out of town. If he would have just asked his parole officer for a paper so that he could change his primary address to her address, but he never asked for the paper. And here goes Shantae again, not telling True how she feels, but running to the confessional to run her mouth. And fair enough, it probably would have been pointless because, girl, you know he don't want to be at your house. True and Shantae go to a barbecue spot to meet up with his sister-in-law, Kels, who is married to his brother. And it's clear that the white girl preference is a trend in the family because Kels is a white lady. Her homegirl, as she puts it, is the pepper girl that True is going to be staying with. Now, I wonder if she's white, because why we didn't meet her? If Shantae had any intentions on looking unbothered, she failed greatly. Shantae says she's very concerned about this Pepper girl because she doesn't think that True is capable of being faithful to one woman. So, Shantae, if that's how you feel, then why are you even trying to pursue a relationship with this man at all? Are you just fine with being the main while he has sides? Are you committing your life to a lifetime of arguing with the man and not letting him cheat in peace? Like, what is going on here? Y'all, I spoke too soon because when they leave the restaurant, True says him and Shantae are about to go and meet Peppa. They're in the car and Shantae asks yet again, so who is Peppa? Girl, how many times you gonna ask? Hope's grandparents show up to the restaurant, and then not too long after, Arthur shows up, and my goodness, her family attacked him. I do think that her grandparents were sweet and that they were trying to be polite, but her sisters were so rude to him. And I just feel like she should have spoken up for him a little bit more. It's like she just sat there and listened to them tear him down without actually knowing him. I understand the whole concept of judging a book by its cover, and he's been in jail for 9 years. He's been in jail twice, but they were being very, 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 very hard on him, and Hope did not stand up for him at all. If the roles were reversed and there was a man letting his family meet his woman and the family was attacking the woman in that way, he would look so bad. Hope literally just sat there and let them drag that man. I do think that he handled himself very well under the circumstances, but I don't think that he should have had to sit through that. I think that the sister on the end was the most rude. The other sister was a little bit more polite. She did make it seem like she was rooting for Arthur. The grandpa, he used to be a correctional officer. I think he kind of kept it a little professional. And the grandma, I think she kind of liked him. I feel like every time I looked at her, she was like smiling at him. At the end of the scene, Arthur said exactly how I felt, which was he felt like Hope should have stood up for him. And she didn't. It was as if she was like enjoying seeing people put their foot on his neck as if it would like make him maybe all of a sudden have a job tomorrow. I don't know. I didn't like it. Troy and Zaria kiss and make up, tell each other they love each other, and Karen is sitting on the couch rolling her eyes. Now, I do think that she wants them to be together, but she's probably thinking like, all this foolishness just for y'all to make up. Like, we could have avoided all of this. They get in the car and they head to Buffalo. And Karen says, just, try to keep calm heads. Don't y'all want to experience a 15-year anniversary and get gifts? Like, she is so silly. She's such a good time. Unfortunately, she wasn't the best mother, but she is a good time. We can give her that much. On the way to Buffalo, Troy's little girl calls him and she tells him she's so excited to see him. In the confessional, he actually sheds some tears and talks about how much he's missed her. And they finally pull up to Buffalo, and there are so many family members there that have been waiting to see him. His sister, his cousin, like everybody's so happy to see him. And I cannot believe Zaria almost ruined this day for him, knowing that all those people were waiting to see him. There are just certain things like in a relationship, even if you're upset with your partner, if you know that they have something important going on, you just bite your tongue and don't ruin that moment for them. And she just didn't care. Troy's sister, she looked just like the mama. She says that she wishes that they would have moved to, where they at, Buffalo, instead of Syracuse, because she worries about the fact that he's kind of all alone over there. She knows that he has Zaria, but as far as like his biological family and like close loved ones, he doesn't have anybody. This whole incident with Troy walking off happened the previous day. So they were supposed to be there a whole day before. And Zaria, like, really ruined the day. That's so crazy to me. Zaria asked, who is bringing baby Troy? Is the girl named Troy? Or, like, you can't say her name? Like, what is going on? And the sister says, probably her mom. Ooh, so it's about to be spicy. Joey's out running the streets, and he said he is heading to this ex's location to see why she wants to mess up his relationship. Now, You're supposed to be getting ready for an engagement party with your fiance, but you left, told her to go alone so you can go see your ex-girlfriend to ask her why she's ruining your relationship? Got it. Bianca is getting ready to go pick up Daniel from prison. She is annoyed because his family is going to be there to see him. And I never understand this on this show or any other real life scenarios. Why do y'all be mad when people's families want to see them when they get out of prison? They haven't seen them for just as much, if not longer, than you have. So why do y'all not want the family to be there? She's worried about her outfit because she says she only has sexy outfits and she doesn't want to offend his parents. She also is worried about offending his parents with her showing of affection, and everyone has warned her to not do too much. Bianca pulls up. The family is already there. It sounds like she's a little late because they're wondering where she is. When she finally gets there, she meets his girl cousin. Remember before she met the mom, the dad, and the boy cousin. The girl cousin is there as well. She's really excited about getting to know Bianca, and she feels like they're going to be good friends. She seems really sweet, but when she says that, the boy cousin kind of like has a weird look on his face, like maybe he doesn't see it for her, maybe he doesn't actually like her. And then he asks I'm guessing this is his sister, if her boyfriend was going to be coming, and she's like, you mean my fiance, because we're engaged. And then she mentions that he also referred to Bianca as a girlfriend when she's a fiance as well. And here they go, going back and forth about this argument again. Now, I thought we were going to get to see Zaria and Yana meet each other, but they left us on a cliffhanger. So y'all already know I'll be back next week with the update. I'll see you guys then.